I'm Connor Old, and this is Old Oscar Content. And today we're going to be looking at the Best Supporting Actor category for the Oscars of 2017. So, welcome back, guys. If you're new to this series, essentially I go from week to week breaking down a different category and who I think is going to get nominated for the Oscars in 2017. Once the nominations come out, I'll then look at the nominations and decide who I think is going to win. So I started this in October. It's now almost December. Can you believe it? I can't. I know that for sure. And we're going to go all the way until February. At least that's the goal. And then from there, I don't know. So I'm going to start off doing some housekeeping to start off with. And so essentially how the next episodes are going to be rolled out for the next couple of weeks will essentially be I'm going to group some categories together because there's not enough weeks and not enough time for me to do it. Unfortunately, I'll do my best to try to split it up as much as I can, but I will group things together and things that make sense. So like production design, costume design, and makeup and hairstyling will be one episode. Of course, they're going to have their own predictions for nominations. They'll just be lumped into one category. And then the day before the Oscars nominations, I'm going to do a final predictions and update my results in case anything has changed, which I do think has, especially for something like Best Picture, which is so hard to judge so early on when I did it on in December. But that's in the future. For right now, we're looking at Best Supporting Actor. It's an interesting one this year for sure, because last year I thought it was a great year with Mark Ruffalo and Mark Rylance and Sylvester Stallone, and people thought Sly was going to win, and then he didn't, and he lost to Ruffalo, which I did not call personally. I thought they were going to give the Stallone sort of that heartwarming sort of Oscar, but they didn't. So last year was super competitive. It's super interesting. This year I don't think it'll be that interesting. It'll be interesting in terms of I don't know necessarily who's going to get it. It's going to be sort of a toss-up, but I don't necessarily love all the performances, but I like them. They're definitely solid, good performances, and it's a hard one. This category is probably one of the hardest, maybe the hardest I've actually had with this category, because I find it just there's so many great supporting actors, and even last year was way more competitive. But this year it's still a lot of good performances, not necessarily standout performances, but a lot of good ones that can sort of creep in and out. So what I'm going to do is read off what my nominees are, and then my possible choices, and then I'll go and break each one down and tell a little bit about why I think that one's going to win. So, first one, Mahershala Ali for Moonlight, Lucas Hedges, Manchester by the Sea, Jeff Bridges, Hell or High Water, Dev Patel, Lion, Michael Shannon, Nocturnal Animals, Alan Rickman, Eye in the Sky, Liam Neeson or Adam Driver for Silence, and Aaron Eckhart for Bleed for This or Sully. Now let's go with the first one, Mahershala Ali for Moonlight. Now right now this is probably the most probable and most possible one. This definitely, as I keep on telling about every episode, which is such a huge thing from last year, is the Oscars So White controversy. So Mahershala Ali will sort of break out of this. He had a great performance, and he's sort of been in that Hollywood great TV sphere sort of on the brim, and Moonlight really excels him. He does an amazing job in the film. Not my favorite, but a really good job, and shows how like he is a drug dealer, but he takes in this kid and really nurtures him, and he's just a person. He's not necessarily a bad guy that we see drug dealers displayed in the movies before. It's an interesting turn, and he seemed really passionate about the role when I listened to Q&A at TIFF. But he's been in the curve before. You know, he's been part of House of Cards. He was in Curious Case of Benjamin Button, the David Fincher film, which did well at the Oscars, or at least well in terms of nominations. And so I think this is going to be his time to break out. He does a great job, and I hope Moonlight does good because it's such a great movie, and I hope the Oscars recognize it. It's sort of, people say it's hard to judge, but I think the critics love it and the Oscars love it because they can get those sort of redemption from the Oscars So White by nominating some great actors of color. My next one, Lucas Hedges from Manchester by the Sea. He was probably he's one of my favorite parts of Manchester by the Sea. Of course, Casey Affleck is just amazing, and he's so good. I'd probably say, no, Lucas Hedges is my second favorite supporting actor of the year. The next one will probably be coming up. Well, maybe not in terms of personal, I might have to think of that more, but in terms of ones for Oscars. So he does a great job. A lot of people say Manchester by the Sea is so heart-wrenching, and it really is, but Lucas Hedges has a lot of funny parts. I was laughing a lot in this movie. Especially with Lucas Hedges' parts, and he lightens up the film. He does a great job. His Boston accent is amazing. You might have seen him in Moonrise Kingdom, Wes Anderson's Moonrise Kingdom, but this is his role where he actually breaks out, and he does a great job supporting the movie, which is sort of what I like. And if it's him and Mahershala Ali, I actually probably go with him because I think he does such a great job, and being he's only probably like 20, probably I would imagine. He does such a great job. Not even, probably 18. Next one is my favorite of the possible nominations. This is Jeff Bridges for Hell or High Water. This is probably, I think Hell or High Water is going to get 2 nominations, maybe 3, but probably only 2, which is a shame because it's such a great movie. If you haven't seen it, Hell or High Water is my 4th favorite movie of the year. It is amazing. Go see it if you haven't. But the Oscars, I don't think will recognize it. It's sort of going to be Ex Machina of last year, where I got a couple nominations, but actually I only think I got 1 nomination. But no, 2 because of 1 for visual effects, and then best. Sorry about that technical difficulties. Essentially, what I was saying about Jeff Bridges is that I love Hell or High Water a lot. He's probably the best part about the movie, but Chris Pine and Ben Forster, Foster, sorry, they're so great in the movie as well. It's such a dynamic and in-depth movie where it's not necessarily about the action, it's about the characters. And Jeff Bridges definitely does his Jeff Bridges, sort of, you can't hear him talk, but the Academy loves him with things like Crazy Heart, so they'll definitely nominate him, I think, for sure. This is a pretty good lock, but not a win. Next one I have is Dev Patel for Lion. Now, if you didn't know, Dev Patel was actually in the consideration for lead actor, if you watched that video, but now he's actually switched, like Viola Davis, to Best Supporting Actor, and I'm actually giving him the nomination, because before I did not give him a nomination. I don't think so, at least. He was a possible, but he wasn't necessarily on the cusp. Even still, he's still on the cusp for possible, just because it's sort of now an opposite thing. But before I was like, oh, it's his movie, but I didn't think he did a great, necessarily amazing job with it. It was always hard to judge the Lion buzz. But this one, his face is on the poster, which I was so surprised. It's Best Supporting Actor. He's clearly doing this, trying to just get a nomination to possibly win. I don't think he's going to win. I'm not even sure if he's going to get nominated. He could get bumped up by one of our possibles, but he's definitely on that 5 sort of 6 area. But he, just the fact that he was considered in Best Lead Actor, I think he's going to get the nomination here just for Best Supporting Actor. But his face is on the poster. He's not a supporting actor. He's the main character. It makes me mad ultimately, but it doesn't matter because I think that he's going to get the nomination, and I heard he's pretty good, and it's very heartwarming and heartbreaking, really. And then the final one on my list is Michael Shannon for Nocturnal Animals. All I've heard about this movie, it's either really good, people like it, and it's stylish, or not really good, it's sort of confusing and muddled and doesn't really hit on either nail. But I heard Michael Shannon, from both sides of the argument, is fantastic. Almost everyone agrees he's great in it. He sort of needs his due. He's a great actor. Things with like Jeff Nichols movies we see with Loving, which could get, I think definitely get some other nominations. Not in Best Supporting Actor, because it's really just Ruth Negga and Joel Edgerton. But he comes in the cameo as he does in all Jeff Nichols movies. But apparently in this one, with movie directed by Tom Ford, he plays a sheriff, similar to Jeff Bridges, and just does a really good job. And I hope he gets nominated because he's a great actor, and I think it's his time. But right now, my top 3 are definitely, my top 2 are Marshall Ali, Moonlight, and Lewis Hedges for Manchester by the Sea. I think those are 1 and 2. But if someone like some of my other possible ones get in, it could be a little interesting. So my first one, someone I haven't really heard people talk about, is Alan Rickman for Eye in the Sky. Alan Rickman, as you all know, probably he recently died this year, and I think that, and I was reading that your Oscar chances actually go up 500% if you die. So that's a bonus for Alan Rickman. I think it could be an honorary reward. I've seen Eye in the Sky, and he's great in it. I think he does a good job, especially at the end. He has this sort of little speech that's like, oh my god, that's the typical Oscar sort of clip that you always see. And he's great in that little extra speech, and he's good throughout the movie. It's a very conflicting character, and this is his last, one of his last roles at least. And I think they could definitely nominate him for the role. I'd actually replace him with someone like, well, I haven't seen Lion or Nocturnal Animals, so I can't really say, but I think he did a great job, and I'd put him in there. But not a lot of people are saying the buzz. This is sort of a personal pick for me, but I definitely think that Oscars definitely could recognize him, even though he's passed, sort of as a, oh wow, okay, a little surprise. Next one is Liam Neeson and Adam Driver from Silence. That's because I think Andrew Garfield was the lead actor, so he would go in the lead actor category, even though I think he's going to campaign for Hacksaw Ridge. But, as we know, Silence, it's hard to judge right now because it's not out, not a lot of people have seen it, but I saw the trailer, it looks amazing. I will be there day one. It looks really, really, really good. I can't wait to see it, and apparently Adam Driver lost 50 pounds for the role, but people are still saying Liam Neeson because he's a little more mysterious, at least in the trailers, and I think a little bit of a better actor. But Adam Driver had a great year in things like Patterson and in Silence, and he's also Kylo Ren in the Star Wars Force Awakens series. So he's definitely like recognized for a lot of people. So I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Driver got it, but I still think Liam Neeson, if anything, can get it. He's probably my number 6 right now. He's definitely. And the last one we're going to be, last possible, is Aaron Eckhart for Bleed for This or Sully. Now it's going to be interesting to see if he gets nominated, what it's going to be. Bleed for This definitely has a thing where I think he gained 50 pounds, unlike Adam Driver who lost 50 pounds, and he's sort of lost his hair and looks bald, and definitely that Raging Bull transformation in the boxing movie. But I heard Miles Teller's great in it, and so is Aaron Eckhart, but it's just a little too standard to get a little more than acting nominations, if it any does. And Sully, I think, is definitely more possible than Bleed for This, because even though it's not as great of a performance or standout of a performance than Bleed for This, I definitely think that Sully has a little more resonance in terms of Tom Hanks for Best Actor and possibly even Best Picture, and sort of have that Clint Eastwood magic to it, and him sort of sneaking in for Sully, because he does a great job in it. And I mean, a great job saving weight. Tom Hanks does a great job, but nothing standout potential. So anyways, guys, this has been the supporting actor category. I hope you enjoy it, and until next time, stay tuned.